Hello everyone. I see now that the recording has started.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Welcome to the final webinar of CITyFiED project. Together with me, my name is Jeanette Green, and I have been leading the work on replication in this project. Together with me today, I have several colleagues from different work packages in the CITyFiED project who together with me will present the final outcomes of this project. We will start with getting a short update on the outcome and the results from the demo sites. Then we will share with you the tools we have designed to make this happen again. And that is part of the replication work that we have been exploring. Finally, we will get some new insights in the business models and the tools to design new business models that have been developed in the project. And also hear a little bit about the best practices gathered from this project in terms of social stories. We are very glad to have you on, and there will be a short slot by the end for you to ask questions. To have this organized in the webinar, we ask you to participate in the chat. That is the box that you find in the right corner of this webinar program. So if you want to have a quick response from the presenter, please write in the chat box what you would like to ask. And you can also click on the tool in the left up corner to raise your hands and give us notice that you have a question. Otherwise, I will try to gather it all by the end of this webinar and to see that you will have response to your questions about the content of this webinar. So welcome again. The time is short for the webinar, so we might just better start presenting. And I will start with giving the floor to Ali Vasayo, the coordinator of the CITyFiED project from CITyFiED organization, and he will share with you the results from the demo site.
Thank you very much, Janet, for
this
introduction. Yours. And also, I would like to thank you very much all the cities for attending this webinar, and also your support and staying with us during this project. As Janet said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the results of our project in terms of the impacts in the demo sites. As you may know, we have 3 demonstration sites in our project. One of them is located in Spain, in the city of Laguna de Duero, a small city with around 23,000 inhabitants. And here we are very happy to say that we successfully retrofit 143,000 square meters. That means 31 buildings, 1,488 dwellings. In terms of energy savings, we achieve around 36%. This means that we reduce the energy consumption of the building in this amount, taking into account the electrical and thermal part. If we're only talking about the thermal part, this energy savings could be around 40–50%. And the contribution of renewables is around 60%, considering in the same way the electrical and thermal part. If we only talk about the thermal part, we were talking about the energy contribution from renewables around 80%. On the other hand, another demo site is located in Turkey, in the city of Soma. Soma is located in the province of Manisa with around 70,000 inhabitants. In this case, we had to reduce the scope of the demonstration activities, and we retrofit 7,000 square meters of conditioned area. That means that we improve the energy performance of 17 buildings, 200 dwellings, and we achieve energy savings around almost 41%. The contribution of renewables is a little bit lower than the other cases, and we are talking about the contribution of renewables around 8%, and is due to the installation of solar thermal collectors. Last but not least is the demo case located in the city of Lund in Sweden. That is a city in the south part of the country with 120,000 inhabitants. In this case, we successfully retrofit 40,000 square meters of conditioned area, that means 16 buildings, almost 380 dwellings. In this case, the energy savings are up to 31%, and the contribution of renewables is almost 76%, and considering that here we have DC heating 1% based on renewables. As you may know, during the course of the project we produce many results, and you can find information about the different results of our project in the different aspects that we work in, non-technological barriers, methodologies, technologies, visualization tools, and so on, in the website of the project. In particular, all of them are available in the City Smart Space that you have access. Other way to know more about the project and the things that happen here is in our social media. You will find there videos of our project in YouTube, and also our news and newsletters are published promoted in the Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course in our website. Thank you again for attending this webinar. Hope you enjoy, and now I would like to give the floor to my colleague Janet Green.
Thank you. And in order to have many cities benefiting from the results from the demo sites, we have been working throughout the project with tools for replication. And that is to say, to make this happen again and again and again in new districts and new cities. As we know that replication is a complex process, there are many tools designed for this, and I will try to summarize them now in the 7 critical steps that we have identified for new cities to make this happen again. These are 7 steps that answers to who needs to be involved in a work for this to happen, how you should plan a district retrofitting, and how you should arrive at targets for retrofitting in a city. And then, of course, also how to evaluate and see that retrofitting becomes better and faster for each project that we conduct. In more detail, the first 3 steps is about how to be involved and how to set the target, the sustainability targets of a retrofitting project. The first step is about how to build your team, how to involve the key stakeholders. And of course, key stakeholders to a retrofitting project like this is, of course, the building owners. But in order to aim for climate impact reduction, you also we suggest to involve the city and the energy supplier for the buildings. Other key actors that could be involved are, of course, the residents, if they are not the same as the building owners, and potential investors in the project. Get good targets for a retrofitting project that goes beyond energy efficiency. We think that it's very wise to coordinate a retrofitting project with the city sustainability goals. Some cities have a very developed program for this, and others have not been as ambitious yet. If you are not able to work with your cities, there is always potential to aim for lower climate impact and increased share of renewables, and a lot of guidance for this to be found within the CITyFiED project. The third step is about identifying where these methodologies from the CITyFiED project is to take place. And the CITyFiED project has focused on residential districts with similar buildings with high climate impact and retrofitting needs. And this we also have designed a methodology in the replication work for you to identify your district in your city of this kind. When you know who and what to aim for and where this can happen, it's about defining the details of the retrofit, the how in this process. And to get good targets for retrofitting, you need to know where to start, and this we think you do by diagnosing the district. This should be done from both technical perspective and non-technological perspectives. You can measure or you can simulate the energy demand and calculate the climate impact of your district. And then you have to learn about the non-technological barriers and solutions of the district that you're interested in. And of course, also, you need to explore potential business models that could happen, that could be of relevance for this district. When you have this basis, we have designed a process to build different scenarios for retrofitting for your district. This in order to explore how different investment schemes and different energy targets and climate targets can correlate. When you have this map outline of you, it's time to choose your strategy, your district, and to assess the impact that this retrofitting project will have on the city climate goals. And of course, when you have performed your retrofitting districts, you should not forget the final and important step of validation. This you need to do with real data, new monitoring data after retrofitting. That will validate your estimated impact. Was the outcome according to your expectations, or if it wasn't, why did it deviate, and how can we learn? This is also a very important step to give feedback to your stakeholders in order also to spread the lessons learned in the project and to make this happen again. This gives you good basis to revise future strategies and also to inspire others to do these strategies again and again and again, and to create real replication of retrofitting of residential districts. And these are the 7 steps of doing replication of CITyFiED. And in order to assist you to fulfill these steps, we have designed a lot of different type of solution packages and best practices and different design tools. And the next step in this webinar, I will give the floor to my colleague in this project, Delay Kesten Erhard from CITyFiED in Germany, and she will guide you through the solution packs that you will benefit from in such a process. Please go ahead, Delay.
Hello. Hello, my name is Delay Kesten Erhard. I work in the field of innovation management in the headquarters of CITyFiED, located in the city of Germany. As work package leader of exploitation, market deployment, and replication, we would like to share our outcomes with you. First of all, I would explain our solution packages. Within the CITyFiED project, innovative technologies and methodologies have been developed and implemented to rise the efficiency of smart grid and district heating networks together with their ICTs, mobility interfaces, and building renovation processes and outcomes. For CITyFiED project, it was crucial to have sound strategy for exploitation, market deployment, and replication of the results achieved in 3 demonstration sites of CITyFiED. Led by CITyFiED, the consortium therefore engaged itself to progressively define an exploitation and market deployment plan, starting at the beginning of the project and continuing until its end. You can see here our CITyFiED solution packages, and now we can go a little bit in detail. So the main focus of the first solution pack of the CITyFiED methodology are diagnosis of the city and district level, provision of a tools and solutions catalog for district scale renovation, including building information modeling perspective, provision of tools and guidelines to facilitate the selection and prioritization of most suitable sustainable scenarios. These scenarios also include social, environmental, and economical, and appropriate energy models. Consideration of business model aspects, including financing options, stakeholders, contacts, and etc. Provision of guidelines for implementing interventions. Analysis of interventions resulting impacts. All those kind of services are provided from listed partners from the consortium within Solution Pack 1. The solution presented in Solution Pack 2 have been designed to address the city energy monitoring at building and district level, allowing energy service companies, energy providers, local governments, and even households to access different types of information on energy consumption. The Solution Pack 2 measures serve the following main purposes: data collection and storage, data analysis and data visualization. The first purpose is about collection and storage of the data. The second purpose involves the processing of the collected data in order to generate an output, kind of reports, warnings, recommendations, etc. The third purpose consists of actions making the data analysis output available to various stakeholders in a customized way. And the all involved companies can be listed, can be seen here, listed in the Solution Pack 2. And Solution Pack 3, is low temperature district heating system for residential buildings. The optimization of district heating networks and utilization of multiple energy sources enable the integration of different technologies, which would otherwise be difficult to manage in a smaller facilities. So low district heating systems have additional advantages compared to traditional district heating systems. Their aesthetics compact and cause no airborne dust. The goal of Solution Pack 3 is to offer a proper solution meeting the requirements of the low district heating system. The assumption is that they must be applicable to nature of the residential buildings. All those solution packs that you saw briefly here are available, and you can download them from our website, CITyFiED.eu, under Smart Space, how to replicate, and under exploitation section. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dilay. And now we are going to get more deeply involved in the work that has been performed within CITyFiED around business model. The high cost for investment is often referred to as one of the major non-technological obstacles of making this happen. This is why we have devoted a whole work package only to explore the potential of new business models around retrofitting. And the presenter of this work is Ines Fernandez and Alvaro Espesa from Veolia in Spain. Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Ines, for this introduction. This is Álvaro Espeso, and together with my colleague Inés Fernández, we will present the part of the business model of this final webinar. First of all, it is a pleasure for me to be in this final webinar and show the results obtained during the work done in the work package 3 of the CITyFiED project. First, I will talk about the new business model that we have created for energy renovation at district level, and then my colleague Inés Fernández will introduce the guidelines that we have created. So, why a new business model, or why we try to create a new business model for energy retrofitting action? So the first, sorry. So the first thing that we have to have clear is that the building sector is responsible for the 40% of the final energy consumption. The second reason is that nowadays we can find a lot of buildings with a poor and very bad energy performance. And finally, the growing trend of the smart cities in Europe results that is other reason to generate a new business model. And with this new business model, we can create a more efficient buildings and accelerate the cost-effective retrofitting of existing buildings. This new business model that we have created has three fundamental objectives. First of all is the energy, and this is achieved optimization with the optimization of the energy and reduction of the energy demand. Other objective is the improve of the comfort of the citizens, and finally the reduction of the greenhouse emissions. In order to define the concept of the new business model, 5 different parts have been established. First is the energy that is the center of this new business model. Then the relations between the energy measures carried out and the stakeholder responsible of these energy measures. Then the financial expense, the assessment of these interventions, and finally the neighbors. And well, one of the most innovative aspects of the new business model is the intervention of the individual parts. I mean, this part we have another business model, but this new business model try to put together these parts and try to find the interconnection between these parts. And well, now we will see in depth all of these layers. The first essential part that we have called business layer is the energy. As I told you, the energy is the main layer, and is the center of the new business model. Here we need to define three main aspects. First, the energy supply. Second, the customer who requires this energy supply. And finally, who can provide this energy. So in this business layer, we need to define these three aspects. The second layer is the energy measures. Here we have identified two different energy conservation measures, the active measures and the passive measures. And also it's important to define how the stakeholder can win in a business model. According to the role, who am I, what service can I offer, and to whom is the service offered to. Now the next once this business driver has been defined, the next step is to define the financial expense. In other words, how we can finance energy retrofitting projects. And here we must define the different contracts and the different options to find the financial opportunities. The next layer is the assessment procedure. This assessment procedure will be focused in three main aspects that have been previously mentioned: energy, greenhouse emissions, and thermal comfort. So these are the three main points that we have clear to define or to assess the project. And finally, the neighbors. This is the last layer, and the neighbors, which will help to develop the different retrofitting projects. They are responsibility to treat all of the trees that make up the project. And here we can see the different aspects that the enablers must be have into account. To sum up, these new business models include the participatory interaction between the layers. From the nucleus, where the fundamental part is the energy, towards outside, where there are the other different layers. And we believe that this business model is a very powerful tool to replicate projects related to energy retrofitting aspects. And now I'm going to give the floor to my colleague Inés Fernandez, that are going to introduce the guidelines that we have created in the topic.
Okay, thank you, Alvaro. Hello, everybody. My name is Inés Fernandez, and I will be presenting the part of the guidelines that the CITyFiED project has developed in order for the stakeholders to understand better the business model we have developed, and also to help them replicate it in other projects. So, as my colleague Alvaro has explained, the new business model that we have been developing during this project has 5 layers, and the energy layer is the most important one in the center, and then we have also the energy measures and the role of the stakeholders that participate, the financial schemes, the assessment, and the enablers. All of these layers must have active interaction between each other in order for the business model to work, and for the stakeholders to join this new business model and to understand how they can contribute. We have developed a series of guidelines that I'm going to explain now. So the CITyFiED guideline for business models has 3 possible approaches depending on the information that each stakeholder has about themselves and about all the other stakeholders participating in the project. The first approach that we have identified as entries. So the first entry is related to the role of the stakeholders that participate in the retrofitting project. The second entry is related to the services that are provided and demanded within the project. And then the third entry is related to the customers that we can find inside a retrofitting project. So explain each of these entries a bit in detail and give a brief example of each one. So entry number 1 is related to the role of the stakeholders. So the first thing that we have done in this entry is to identify all of the stakeholders that participate within a retrofitting project. You can see the list here on the left side of the slide. And then basing our work on the Canvas model, we have analyzed each stakeholder according to 4 parameters. First, the service that they offer, then the infrastructure that they have in order to provide that service, then the finances that allow them to provide the service, and finally, their potential customers. As an example, I'm going to show you the analysis for the energy service company, also called ESCO. And you can see here that the services ESCO can provide are the design and implementation of energy retrofitting solutions, and also the operation, maintenance, and total guarantee of the equipment installed, as well as the financing of those solutions. The infrastructure that allows them to provide those services are experienced staff in specialized departments, and if the ESCO is not a big enterprise, they can also partner up with other stakeholders that are more specialized in certain fields. In order to provide those services, the ESCOs recur to performance contracts, and also they can also finance them through public grants and subsidies or bank loans. So the customers that will usually turn to energy service companies for the services that they can provide are either private owners or public owners of buildings. Entry number 2 is related to the services that we can provide or demand within a retrofitting project. And here you can see, as in entry 1, you can see the list of services that we have identified within the retrofitting project. And then we have also analyzed them according to 4 parameters. First, we describe them, then we identify the stakeholders that can offer and demand each service, and finally we have analyzed the ways to finance each of them. As an example, I have here the energy management service, which aims to optimize the production processes and the energy consumption with the objective of obtaining more efficient buildings. So the stakeholders that can provide this type of service are ESCOs and energy management companies, and it is usually demanded by communities of owners, housing companies, or public institutions, that is, the owners of the buildings. The way to finance this service is through a long-term contract that the provider signs with the customer. And last but certainly not least, we have entry number 3, which is a kind of summary from the 2 previous entries. It is related to the customer that the service is offered to. So the first step to use the guideline approaching from this entry would be to identify the potential customer, then to list the customer's needs, and finally match those needs to the stakeholders that can provide them. So if you think about it, this entry brings us backwards to entry number 2 and then back to entry number 1. As an example here, you can see on the box in the center of the page the services that a construction company might demand within a retrofitting project. And then, just to name a few, we can see, for example, that municipalities can provide the coordination and licensing services, or architectural and engineering firms can provide the design of energy retrofitting solutions, or also, for example, public and private financial entities can provide the financing of the project. So To sum up a bit this whole presentation about business models, it is clear that a new business model was needed in order to fulfill the necessity of retrofitting projects that our current buildings have nowadays. And this business model is made up of 5 different layers that must have active interaction within each other. That is completely essential. The CITyFiED project has developed a series of guidelines to help other stakeholders replicate this business model with the aim to develop more retrofitting projects such as CITyFiED and move towards a smart city scenario. So that is all from my side. I thank you all very much for your attendance and your attention. And I can give back the floor to Jeanette, I think.
Thank you very much, Alvaro and Ines. And to conclude this webinar, we also would like to share with you, before we say goodbye, the best practices from this project and a little bit of social stories. And so I give the floor to Marcello Bardellini from Ioris, and he will share this with you.
Thank you very much, Janet. I'm Marcello Bardellini from Ioris.com. We managed all dissemination and communication activity of this very challenging and innovative Smart Cities project. And in previous presentation, you have actually heard a lot about technical results and activities we carried out in the last 5 years. However, delivering such tangible results couldn't be possible if the consortium wouldn't have started since the beginning to establish a fluent and continuous flow of activities aimed to engage and interact with local stakeholders and citizens. First of all, we had established our community, which is not only limited to the 3 demo sites, citizens, stakeholders around them, but also include a broader circle of 11 cluster cities which we have engaged with for replication purposes, as well as an additional layer of 44 in community of interest cities. So we had to define our community and to build it not only through direct relation, but also through direct communication online, through social media, journalistic articles, and stories around them. So this is the first step we had to do throughout the project execution. But also, of course, we have also to provide value to this community and develop tools in order to engage them within the project with all the progress. And to this extent, we developed smart apps to engage with the local citizens, especially at the demo sites. We carried out several events, face-to-face meeting with stakeholders, citizens, but also more technical study tours showing to our expert community the energy efficiency actions we were delivering at the demo site and fostering knowledge transfer and stories sharing among us. We did so also in the aim to foster local employment opportunities, and this is something that was also happened at local level, especially at the demo sites. But then, of course, we not only limited engagement activities with the stakeholders and citizens, but all these actions were aimed to foster also acceptance. So this is really important, and an achievement from the project is really that being effective in communicating locally through local partners and local communication tools was essential to foster local citizens' acceptance of the retrofitting actions that we did locally. And another hint from the project is that if you need to engage with local citizens and to have them on board on the project, what is really important is to have a non-technical voice, which can be a multiplier and a channel of trust from the project towards local citizens. And this is the role of the local ambassador that we had engaged with throughout the project. And all these innovations, all these actions are really marked through a number of prizes that we, as project, we gathered throughout the project execution. And this is not only dedicated to technical activities, but also the project CITyFiED was prized in terms of communication activities, the leader, as well as corporate social responsibility of some of the organizations involved into the project. But it has also been awarded with a global recognition in the Smart 50 Awards, which is honoring the 50 most transformative smart city project each year, and CITyFiED was honored in the energy part of the awards. So this is another way to mark the success of the project in terms of also international recognition. You can read way more about all the stories that are underneath our project results achievements in our best practice book, which has been delivered, and it's available on our website for you to download and get more into the details of all inspiring stories that we have collected and that make the CITyFiED such a memorable project. Jeanette, I give the floor back to you, and I thank everybody for the attention.
Thank you very much, Marcello. And we are now reaching the end of this webinar. And of course, we are also reaching the end of this project. And all what you have been listening to here today will, of course, be published on the website of the project. And as there will be a slight delay for some of our deliverables from this project, we will ask you to keep focus and keep the attention to our website, where we will publish continuously now after the project has ended the final deliverables presenting the final outcomes of the project. So if you don't find these publications today, please be patient and stay with us and make sure that you revisit the website continuously from now on. I can see that we have reached the final time for this webinar, so I would just like to conclude this with saying very large thank you all for all of those of you that have supported this project through this 5-year time. And we hope very much, all of us, that you will benefit from the results and the reports that we have created. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. And our contacts are on the website. And even if the project has ended, we will keep our focus on doing and replicating the results of this project, making energy retrofitting happening again and again at a faster speed and better delivery. So thank you all, and look forward to meeting you again in new projects in the future. Take care, everyone, and hope to see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.